Hello, welcome back to another episode of Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish, and for those that have been watching, you may have noticed I haven't had a video out recently. Part of that is because at the time of this taping, it's mid-April, and there's a lot going on in the country right now, so I've been busy getting my footing over the last few weeks. So, and in light of everything that's going on, I felt like, maybe I could do a video with some tips for anxiety when we're going through difficult times such as these, when our lives are just kind of, it just feels like there's been this unsettling at the very least. So I wanted to share some tips with you, things that you can do to maybe ease up on some of that anxiety that for a lot of us that we may be feeling. So I'm going to go through a few different things. We're going to get right on into it. So what I want to start with is that I'd like to talk about the vagus nerve. And it's this large nerve that runs throughout the body. I'm going to give you the spelling of it. I'm not going to go into great detail about it. One, because I have other things that I want to talk about in the episode. But two, hopefully it'll get you to Google the vagus nerve and how it can help with anxiety. So the spelling is V as in Victor, A, G as in George, U, S, vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve, it helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. And we can think of rest and digest, a way to kind of help slow down our heart rate. So I want to talk about how we can activate the vagus nerve. So there's a few different ways in which you can do this. Singing is a wonderful way not only to help raise your vibration, but to activate the vagus nerve. So maybe put on your favorite songs and just open up your mouth and just sing. Enjoy the song, just allow your throat to open. You can hum. So maybe, you have family around and you can't put the music on right now, so then hum. Feel the vibration in your throat. Just open up and activate the vagus nerve. You can also chant. So somebody's much more likely to catch me chanting than singing. This isn't a singer's voice. So when we're in meditation, you can just, if you haven't already, incorporate some chanting. And it can be as simple as Om. When we are saying Om, O-M, or A-U-M, elongating, just stretching out the of it. So Om. And just to allow, once again, that vibration to help open up your throat chakra, but to also activate the vagus nerve. You can also garlic. You can also gargle some water. And again, it's just a way in which to activate this nerve, which helps, once again, by activating the vagus nerve, activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and see if it helps you to lower your anxiety. So another way to activate this nerve is through deep breathing exercises. And if you go online, whether you Google it or you go to YouTube, you can find different breathing exercises. But I want to go through, there's a couple we're actually going to use throughout this episode. But one to get started with, whenever we are doing deep breathing exercises, I suggest at least sitting down. Don't stand up, because you may find that you get a little lightheaded. So either, lie down or just sit where you're nice and comfortable. All right, so with this breathing exercise, so if you want to do this with me, what we're going to do is we're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, we're going to hold for 2, and then we're going to exhale for 8. So what we want to do is get the out breath longer than the in breath. And when we're talking about the breath, we don't want to do short chest breaths, because that could add to the stress. So what we want to do is nice deep belly breaths. When you breathe in, you may even feel the bottoms of your lungs expand. So we want to do deep belly breaths. And again, when we do that, we're going to breathe in for 4, we're going to hold for 2, and then we're going to exhale for 8. So you want to do this with me? Here we go. All right, and I'm going to be silent. Remember, 4, 2, 8. So breathe in. So again, we're breathing in for 4, holding for 2, exhaling for 8. One more time. And by doing this a few times, you may feel yourself just relaxing more. So again, I wanted to kind of bring that knowledge to others that may not be aware of it. I would really suggest looking up the vagus nerve and seeing what insight you can gain. All right, so we're also going to do another exercise. So on my website, under TV episodes, episode 3, I believe, is called Healing Hands and Breath. And this is a class I've given sometimes in the studio even. What we're going to do is we're going to use the divine light and our breath to help alleviate some of that stress that we may be feeling. So when we think about anxiety, oftentimes we're feeling it in the upper chest. You may also feel it somewhere in your stomach as well. So what we want to do is, by using the breath to encompass that place of anxiety or pressure, whatever it is, and then releasing it. I like to use the divine light. So I just imagine this beautiful divine light above me. I usually see it as white, some see it as golden. And I just imagine inhaling a stream of that light straight on down in through my head and neck. And then what you can do is, so if you're feeling a lot of pressure up in your chest, encircle that place with your breath and that light, and then exhale, setting the intention that you are releasing. You're just lovingly releasing this. Now, when we are first, we're becoming consciously aware that we're feeling tension or anxiety, whatever it may be. So when we go in to feel that tension, that pressure within us, what we can do is get a good idea, how far across is it? Is it shoulder to shoulder? Does it feel more centralized? How deep is that pressure? Is it just on the surface? Does it feel like it's going through us? And then that'll give you a better idea as far as visualization when you bring in the light. Encircle so you know how big around of an area that you are encircling. And then once again, just lovingly release it, get it out. We may be feeling anxious for a lot of different things. But again, as I'm putting this on, we're in the middle of a pandemic. You know, there are some of us that, you may be a healthcare worker, a postal worker, somebody who is considered an essential employee, and you're working at Walmart or Target or the grocery store, and you are front and center with other people. You were right there repeatedly exposing yourself to this virus. And let me stop and say thank you. Thank you for all that you do. So as you are out there on the front lines, you may feel even more anxious. It may be somebody in your household that's feeling anxiety for you by going into work and doing what you do. Maybe some of us are feeling anxious because now all of a sudden we're home all day with the kids and we're not used to that. As much as we love our kids, that's a change. It could be somebody, maybe you're single and you're used to just going out and mingling, being with your friends. And now, you have these stay-at-home orders where maybe you're feeling a little anxious of, what to do. So I'm hoping that the tips that I'm outlining in today's episode can help. When we are, I was going to say experiencing this anxiety, but I actually want to go a little different. This is a time for those of us that aren't deemed essential employees, where we are inside, we are home more often, especially if you're somebody who can't work from home and you're laid off and you have the time. This stuff is free to do. Taking time for yourself, taking time for your soul, spend time in meditation, do yoga, take a hot bath, walk around your yard, whatever it is for you. Take time for you. This is our opportunity Of all the times where you said, oh, I just wish I had time to do this, to read a good book. You know, if you're one of us that, you know, we're a non-essential employee, we're at home, you have the time. That's one of the upsides to this. So, okay. So we talked about the vagus nerve and about bringing in that divine light to encircle and release. Now we can go even a little bit further with that. And again, whether that's the chest or somewhere in the belly, one of the other things that we can do is scan the entire body to see if we're holding on to this stress, to this anxiety, any other place in the body. So when I scan, I like to close my eyes. It's like I can see or feel things a little better. So whatever feels right for you. So if you close your eyes, you're just going to mentally scan through your head and your neck. Just paying attention. And at this point, we're just taking inventory. You know, am I holding on to anything within my head, neck, throat? You're going to scan across your shoulders. A lot of us feel pressure and stress in the shoulders. Down through your arms into your hands. You know, because sometimes when we're feeling anxious, some of us will tend to clench our fists. So if you find that when you're anxious, if your fists are clenched, just open them up and rub your hands. But you're scanning down through your arms and hands, and then you're going to come back up and scan through your torso, across your hips, scan down your legs into your feet and your toes. So what you're going to do, again, you're just taking a mental inventory of the different places where you're feeling this anxiety or the stress. So I'm going to ask for you to go back to the first place that you felt. And you're going to breathe through, just like we did, that beautiful divine light in your beautiful healing breath. You're going to encircle that place, lovingly release it. And you may need to do it a couple or a few times to get it out. And then you're going to go to the next place, and then to the next place. Now, let's say that you're working on an area, but it doesn't feel like it wants to release. That's okay. Go on to the next place, and then to the next one. And you may find that after you release the other places of pressure, tension, anxiety, that when you go back up, you know, maybe you felt some tension within your shoulder. So, and you felt like it wasn't releasing. So you work on the other places, come back up to the shoulder and see if it's released at all. Sometimes we may need to massage the area, just kind of work that energy through. And then we can breathe through it again and see if it'll release. And otherwise, just give it some time for it to move through. It's worth a shot to try to see if using your breath, and the great thing is, as you're breathing in and encircling, it's that deep breath, and then you're pushing it out. So that in itself is helping to activate that vagus nerve as well. All right, so let me get out a screenshot here for a second. So here's another tip I like to show my clients. So if you have crystals at home, a lot of people who follow the TV show or that come into the studio, many of you have crystals or stones at home. For this next tip, I suggest clear quartz or rose quartz crystal. I suggest having 2 of them. Now, if you don't have 2 of the same stone, which I suggest even if you don't have a clear or a rose quartz, try and get 2 of the same stone. But if you don't have 2 of the same, once you know what we're about to do, then if you're watching this where you can pause it, then pause it. And then you're just going to go through your crystals, asking which ones are best for you to use for this. And you may find you want to use them different days, different crystals. And then you're going to pick those. But otherwise, let's assume that you have 2 clear quartz. You're simply going to place the crystals in the palms of your hands. And I don't have 2 clear next to me, so I'm actually using a selenite and a clear quartz. But this is just to kind of show you what to do. So you're going to place the crystals in the palms of your hands. Now, if you close your fists, just don't clench them. We want to be relaxed. So once the crystals are in our palms, what we're going to do is, as we're feeling the tension, I'm going to work with it from the upper chest, but wherever you may feel it. Set the intention that you're setting that anxiety or the stress, whatever it is, across your shoulders. And you're going to send it down into your palms. And just imagine that anxiety, that tension going in to your crystals. Let your crystals absorb them. You can even place them in your pockets. So as you're going on about your day, whether you're an essential worker or if you're at home, you can place the crystals in your pocket. So when you're feeling that, stop and recognize, so you're becoming consciously aware of it. And, you know, especially if you're at home, I am safe at home. I am safe at home. Place your hands in your pockets. Get those crystals within your palms. And you're just replacing the energy of anxiety with I am safe. I am safe. I am safe. And pushing out the anxiety once again into your palm chakras, into your crystals. The other thing that you can do is you can place them. I like to check within around the collarbone here. So the thumb and forefinger just under the collarbone. And then I'll slip down a little further to see if I'm feeling it a little deeper in any particular place. I usually sense them as being 2 points. In which case, if you're finding something, ooh, you know, that place is actually a little sensitive, place your crystals there, setting the same intention. When you go to bed at night, you can just place them on your chest, setting the intention that it's absorbing that energy. And obviously, most of us move around while we're sleeping. So then just, you know, pick them up out of bed the next morning, unless you roll over on them and they wake you up. But so you're just using the crystals to help you to absorb that anxiety. You're setting the intention. And what's important here is the intention of, I'm safe. I'm releasing this. So whether you are using your the divine light and your healing breath to encircle and release, you can also set them into your crystals. A little side note, as we were sending the energy into the crystals, when there's a full moon, you can place your crystals on a ledge to get the full moon energy. Otherwise, what you can do is just Google your particular crystal or stone to see the best way to cleanse it. If you are a Reiki practitioner, you can just allow Reiki to flow and cleanse your crystal. And then you're ready to go for the next one. Okay, let's see here. So we can also scoop and release. So just as we were using our breath to encircle and release, we can also just go in and scoop and release. So what does this mean? It's just, again, you're becoming consciously aware that, you know what, I'm feeling anxiety. This isn't serving me right now. So I want to release this. So you're just going to feel in like you're, like, as you would do with the healing breath, you're just going to feel into where is this energy, how far across, how deep, and this is anywhere in the body. I'm just, because of the video angle here, I'm just using the chest so you can see. So we're just going to feel into that energy, how far across, how deep is it, and just imagine going in and scooping it out, sending that energy into the earth. Now, sometimes as I'm doing this, I can feel it rising up through the throat and releasing it through the throat. Allow your body to tell you. Go with follow your intuition. You intuitively know how to release. And again, you're just going to continue to scoop and release until you can't scoop anymore. And that may be where you kind of plateau or you feel better. Scoop, release. You can imagine sending the earth, whatever you're scooping out into the earth. It's great as the weather is breaking to go outside and to do this, giving it to Mother Earth to be transmuted. The main thing, once again, is you are setting the intention. I am consciously aware that I am anxious. I don't want to feel this way. So I'm setting the intention. I am lovingly releasing it. I'm lovingly releasing it. And we can do that, once again, any part of the body. So if you scanned through earlier and you picked up different places, you can imagine just going over and scooping. So if your breath didn't do it for you, try the scooping and releasing. Get it out of there. And let's see. Some of the other things that you can do, I think most people here are already aware. Go to YouTube. There are so many videos. I have videos on YouTube, some that are the episodes that I upload, but I also have other videos there as well. There are so many different visualizations, guided meditations, channels with beautiful music for meditation. To just sit, even if you sit for 5 minutes, it's something. To just still and quiet the body and the mind. To drop your shoulders, to just breathe. You know, to straighten the spine and breathe that divine light straight down your spine. And then exhale. And sometimes what I'll do, I kind of see it as a cleansing, where I'm bringing the light down the spine, and then I'm just kind of pushing up whatever it doesn't serve. And as I exhale up and out. So whether you're doing that through the throat or straight on up the crown and out. Inhale and release. Get out of there. So sit in meditation. Be still. And I know it's difficult. It can be so difficult to quiet the mind. The mind does what it's supposed to do. It thinks. It's processing. So if, early on when I started, I would have a notebook next to me, because it was like this voice popping in saying, oh, you're going to get so relaxed, you're going to forget to do this, this, and that. So I would just open up my eyes, quickly jot those things down, and remind myself I'm not going to forget about it. It's right here. And then I would just get back into meditation. So there are so many different ways in which we can release some of that anxiety. You know, as we go through this, I try as much as I can to think about the good stuff, the positives that we're seeing during this time. For the people who said, I wish I had more time to spend with my kids. Well, hopefully now you get more time to spend with your kids. Maybe doing more art projects, baking together, whatever it may be. I think about how the earth is in a state of healing. That by us stopping globally, how the earth has been able to heal. And no, not completely, but she's healing. I think about, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the videos of those in Italy in these cute towns where they're just singing together out of their windows. The different videos I've seen online with The World Needs Now by some choir, and forgive me, I can't remember the name of it, but it was just absolutely beautiful. It literally brought tears to my eyes. Here in Wadsworth, we have people that have been donating lumber and other materials, and somebody who has been building food pantries and installing them in different parts of the city. And it's my understanding that that is expanded beyond our city as well. And then other people are donating food to be placed in those pantries. What a beautiful, loving thing to do. And it's so strange when you think that we have to love people to love them enough to not want to see them, to not want to be around them. I love my grandbabies and my kids. Therefore, I'm keeping my distance. They love me, and so they keep their distance. It's so odd. We tend to want to be around people, even us introverts. We need our people time too. And for myself, I love hugging people. That embrace it. There's just so many benefits to hugging, and that's something you can Google too. And not being able to do it, it's so odd. So trying to get that energy from my dogs. It's such a weird time right now. And it's temporary. The vast majority of us are going to get out alive. We're going to get through this. And I recognize that there are some of you that may be struggling with, maybe you are maybe you were infected with the virus and you are trying to heal. Maybe you know somebody that you're worried about because, they contracted the virus. Maybe you've lost somebody. I get it. It's really hard to stay in the positives when there's so much uncertainty right now. And my thoughts, my prayers, my heart is with you. We are all in this together. And again, one of the beautiful things that is coming out of this is this wonderful sense of community. And with as polarized as we are in this country politically, people are helping each other. It doesn't matter. And I like to think that it wouldn't matter even before this happened, of, who you voted for or want to vote for, who you like or don't like. We're just helping each other. We're loving each other. We're caring about each other. I think about how in New York City, when at like 7:00 at night, when there's the staff change, shift change at the hospitals, and people are opening up their windows and clapping and really cheering on the doctors and the nurses. It literally just gives me goosebumps. It's something beautiful to pull out on such a difficult time right now. So for all of you on the front lines, again, whatever that may be, a postal worker, working in the stores, and especially for you nurses and doctors, where you are repeatedly going in, working with these COVID-19 patients, being exposed repeatedly to this virus. Thank you. From the depths of my heart, I thank you. We are very lucky to have such wonderful, loving, good-hearted people in our country taking care of us. So for all of you, for all of us, may God protect you. May you feel God's warmth and love and comfort in these times. And know that we will get through this stronger as a community. We'll get through this together. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Please let me know if you have any questions. And otherwise, stay safe. Thank you, be well, and namaste.